welcome to Some Kind of Podcast. This is a podcast where we entertain you by discussing what entertains us. I'll be your host this week. My name is Tim. I'm joined always by my co-host Cody.
Hey.
And Christian is not here this week. If you've been listening to our podcast or know him personally, you'll know that he's finishing up his senior semester I almost said high school. He's finishing up his senior semester in college, and they have finals going on, which I assume is this week. He didn't really say, but he's studying and being a good student, so he was not able to join us this week. So if you're watching this via YouTube, you're probably seeing a little bit of a different setup than our usual just blank background. Cody and I have kind of decided that since it was just going to be the two of us, we were going to do something a little special. And we are currently logged in as our Final Fantasy XIV characters. So, again, if you watch this on YouTube, you're seeing our characters. If you're not watching this on YouTube, sorry that you're just hearing our voices.
It's okay. You're not missing a whole lot. It's just our characters mimicking talking to each other.
Yeah, we're not really running anything because that would probably be really distracting. And before we get into it, yes, I'm on the left. I do play a female character in Final Fantasy XIV. It is new. I played a male character for years and years and years and years, but I wanted something different. And honestly, the female gear set and most of the poses look cooler than the men's, in my opinion. So yes, I'm one of those guys that plays a female character, but I don't care because I think she looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's whatever. You do you.
I know that like half the females characters on any given server are probably dudes, or at least I assume they're dudes. But
it's probably more like 80 if we're being real honest.
You think so? I mean, there's a lot of females that play this game.
I mean, there are. But, like, I don't know, just my personal experience, it's like 80%.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those people that plays a female character because I think they look cool. You can judge me if you want. I don't really care. Anyway, we're going to kind of try to throw together a podcast. Most of my notes were based on having three people here. Might have to improvise a little bit here to do it, but we're going to work our way through. So, normally we call this first little bit where we're talking about, what we're planning on watching, but I wanted to spice it up a little bit. So from now on, we're going to call it the EXP grind. So, Cody, how have you been grinding EXP this week?
Well, I'm honestly, still just playing this. But I've also been playing RETURNAL the last couple days.
Okay.
That just came out.
How you liking that?
It's pretty good. I think I'll get into that a little deeper here in a little bit. I might do a little bit of a review.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been playing some RETURNAL. I didn't do a whole lot.
That just came out, right?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't do a whole lot this weekend. I got my second COVID shot yesterday.
Nice.
And it was not a great day. The symptoms hit me like 5 hours later, and it was a rough night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far today has been fine. Nothing lasting, so it's good.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been getting ready to go back to work. Got a contract job, so that's fun.
Cool.
Haven't worked in a year thanks to this lovely pandemic, so it's nice to be back in the workforce. Feels a little weird considering I haven't worked in a year, but I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot this week. Just Critical Role and this.
Awesome. All right. Well. Here's how I grinded the old EXP. I watched all of Demon Slayer in like 2 days. I wish that was an overzealous statement, but it is true. I mean, The only thing I can really say about it is that it's only 26 episodes, and they're only like 20 minutes apiece. So it's not like it was hours upon hours of, it's not like I was watching One Piece or something.
Yeah.
And then I went and I watched the movie itself, which is also really good. I'd highly recommend it to you and anyone else that is potentially listening to this that might be on the fence about Demon Slayer. Was going to try to talk to a little bit about Christian this week, but obviously, again, he's not here. So we can just save that discussion for a later date anyway, because I kind of was on the fence about talking anyway, because I know that you sort of kind of want to watch it, and I didn't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, I do want to watch it. It's on my list of things to watch. I just I either I get hooked on something else, or I just forget that I want to watch it. It's just like any other thing on my Netflix queue. It's there. I have every intention to watch it. One day.
Just talking about backlogs we were talking about a few weeks ago. Like my Netflix queue was the first thing I think I ever had a backlog of.
I've always had a video game backlog. Always.
Really, I was never I never really had an issue with it until recently. I think until I started working a lot more.
I want to say I didn't necessarily have one until we hit the PS3 era, where digital games became a thing, and it was more convenient, and
digital downloads was a real thing that really changed the game, so to speak.
And I was
literally and
against
figuratively changed. What?
I was against digital.
Really, were you?
Yeah, I was definitely hardcore into I need the physical thing. I mean, at the time, there was a lot of trading games in and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was still pretty big on that, even though, GameStop would only give you a quarter for your $50 game. But
dude, they're even worse now. I know we joke about it. I know we joke about it, but if they would at least give you $20, $30 for a game. I tried trading in Godfall, right? Because I was and this, I'll get into this when I'm talking about how I grinded or continue that, but I wanted to trade in Godfall towards another game, and they were going to give me $5 for it. That is a PS5 game. They're going to give me $5 for it.
It's not a good game, though. Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty game. It's a very boring game.
It's very boring. You can't even jump.
Yeah, that's what I can't tell you how much that aggravates me in a game like that.
Totally.
I know that Christian keeps talking about us running through it for the channel. I mean, he brings up valid points. Valid points. It's a game we have, and it's a 3-player game.
True.
It's just
I'd rather run Final Fantasy 14 content.
I mean, me and you will. I don't know if Christian's going to resub or not. We'll see.
He did resub. He just doesn't want to set us up. We're getting way off track.
Well, he's doing the free trial.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And we are getting way off track, but whatever. This is a freebie podcast anyway.
Christian's kind of the glue that keeps us on track most of the time because he's very meticulous with his notes.
Real talk, me and Tim just copy paste from previous episodes and just throw some crap in the middle. My dude Christian has 6 pages of notes and talking points, and we're I don't know.
I got bullet points.
We'll hit this maybe.
I got bullet points. If we're lucky, I have bullet points. Sometimes I'm just brief chit chat.
Yeah, I'm just we're gonna talk about stuff. I've made real talk again, way off topic. We have a Google Drive, and we just we put our latest episode. Whoever's hosting will make a little thing, a little outline. I've done the outline 5 minutes before we started the podcast before.
Dude, I did it at work this morning when I first got there, and I was oh, we're recording today. I need to come up with something.
Yep. And then give it, a couple hours, and then Christian's I'm not going to be able to make it. And then here we are, no plan.
Yeah, no
Good
plan.
Stuff.
I went from throwing it together, pulling it out of my anus, to not even being able to do that anymore because I don't know what I'm supposed to do without Christian. That's okay. It's not his fault. I mean, school was way more important
Yeah.
than a hobby. Because that's all this really is for us right now. So,
Yeah. I mean, if people would subscribe.
well, yeah. I mean, let's not get angry at the people that listen to us.
Well, I'm not mad at them.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the 11 people that care. Looking at you, other people.
I mean, we have like 50 followers on Facebook. It's fine. It's
I know.
fine.
I don't know why they can't just hit that little red button. It's fine. You know what? Whatever.
It's fine. Let's get off that track because it's a dangerous road. Christian's gonna come back like, hey man, we don't have a podcast anymore.
Yeah, sorry. YouTube kicked us off. We got tons of hate mail, like real fast.
We turned our whole fan base against us. You probably should have recorded last week.
He'd be like, "Isn't our fan base like our family?" Be like, yeah,
they hate us now.
They hate us now.
Especially your mom. Like,
yeah,
woo.
I live on the street.
Anyway, back to what I was EXP grinding on. So yeah, I watched all of Demon Slayer, including the movie. Really good. Highly recommend it to anybody. I've also been playing Final Fantasy XIV. Obviously, I'm trying to level up the Samurai, which is the class you can probably see I am on screen right now. If you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a samurai. And then, speaking of samurai and backlogs, to tie both these in, I decided to reach into the old backlog and pull out a game for me to play. And I started Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima, yeah. I'm not trying to mispronounce this word. I don't really know how to say it. It's Tsushima. Tsushima?
It's Ghost of Tsushima.
I started playing Ghosts. I haven't gotten too far in it. I only really did the first main mission where, like, once you're done, the title sequence pops up, and I was like, oh boy, this is probably going to be a pretty long game. Which is fine. I'm here for it. It seems like it's very pretty. It seems like it's going to be fun. I know that you and Christian both loved it. So, yeah, I'm starting that. And then I've been watching Critical Role in between the Demon Slayers. And I like Critical Role, but Keyleth can go to hell. Yeah, she really upset me the last 2 episodes. She's been really upsetting me. Because, like, I don't want to spoil anything if anybody hasn't seen Critical Role, but, like, it's a D&D
like
thing.
6 years old, so at this point, it's on them.
Okay. Well, fine then. They're fighting the Briarwoods, right?
Sure.
And, like,
they
burned down all the houses.
Ground?
They're all above ground.
Okay.
They burned down all their houses and whatnot. So there's only, like, the castle left. So all the lord houses were burned down. And, like, they burned all their skills and ability trying to fight off, like, these people in these houses to, stoke the flames of war and, start a rebellion and burn down these houses. And so, like, they all need to rest because in D&D you have to rest to reset and gain your health back and whatnot. So essentially, like, all their characters need to sleep, but they started a rebellion, and Keyleth keeps trying to tell them that they need to go back and they need to keep fighting, and all of them are like, we need to rest, and she's like, we need to go back. And I'm like, no, you need to rest. Everyone's right. Listen to everyone else. Why are you you will die if you go back. You don't have any abilities. And Laura Bailey was like, all I can do is shoot arrows. Why are we going back?
Yeah.
Upsetting. And from what you told me before, she doesn't really get much better.
I mean, she does and she does. Like, she has some really good moments, but, like, I feel like a majority of the time, it's just, like, she's so aggravating. Like, and it's not Marisha's fault. She's just playing the character she rolled.
I'm not mad at Marisha. Yeah, I'm not mad at Marisha.
But, like, yeah, Keyleth as a character is so frustrating because she's always, like, I don't know, she's trying to do the right thing, but she's like, going around her ass to get to her elbow to do it, and it's like, why are you doing this? Just
Yeah.
do this. And she's like, but we gotta do this. And they're like, but you're gonna get us all killed.
Yeah, like legitimately, like she's like picking fights with like giants and whatnot right now, like zombie giants, and like they're just like, hey, like we don't have any abilities or skills to do anything, and she's just like, I'm turning around and I'm going back to fight, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're gonna get everyone killed. It's gonna be a total party kill, TPK, that's what they call what it is.
Yeah, TPK. Yeah. Total
Yeah.
party kill. Yeah, no, believe me, there's plenty of times I'm like, you are legit gonna get everyone killed. I don't think she
Yeah.
ever does.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
can't remember.
I
Anyway, but like, yeah, she just, I don't know, man. She puts them in so many situations they don't need to be in. Like, I don't know how many times they've been like trying to like talk their way out of a situation, and then she speaks, and it's just like, why? Why would you say something? Let Scanlon do all the talking, and just stop.
mm-hmm.
Let Scanlon
Yeah.
or Percy do it.
Yeah, because Percy is unnatural with those roles.
Dude, it's the whole campaign. The golden snitch, man.
Yeah, that's what they call him. Yeah, the golden snitch.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because he has a golden D20.
Oh, I didn't know that. You
Yeah,
can't really see what dice they're rolling.
he holds it up a couple times like later on, but like
Okay.
it's just it's a golden D20 that he rolls that they call the golden snitch.
Mm. All right. Well. So yeah, that's what I've been doing to grind some experience this week. Been an interesting week, with trying to watch a whole anime series and whatnot.
Yeah,
Uh,
luckily it's just one season.
yeah, like I said. Although I've been talking about it at work, I kind of want to go back and try to rewatch Shippuden again, and that is a lot of episodes.
I've just never gotten into Naruto. I can't do it.
It was really good, and then I was watching on Hulu, and all right, I might catch some flack for this, but I don't really care. I prefer to watch things dubbed. Uh, because sometimes I don't necessarily always look at the screen when I'm watching stuff. Like I'm looking at my phone, or I'm, maybe petting Chip, or like I'm making some food or something, or I'm eating the food, and I don't always want to look directly at the screen in order to know what's happening on the screen. So I prefer to watch my anime dubbed. Um, the only thing I ever really made an exception for was for Dragon Ball Super. I
Same.
watched it subbed because I wanted there not to be any spoilers because people were posting spoilers everywhere for Dragon Ball Super. So I watched it subbed, and that's the only time I've ever really watched anime subbed. And I didn't hate it. I got kind of used to it, but it's definitely not how I prefer to watch it. Anyway, I was watching Shippuden subbed, or dubbed rather, and in Hulu, it just skips to the next episode that
Yeah.
is dubbed, and it was like it skipped like 80 episodes to the next dubbed one,
Ooh,
and it spoiled something for me. And I
that's
didn't
not
realize
good.
it at first. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I thought it was like some weird like a side episode or flashback episode or something. I was like, what is happening? And then I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be watching this episode. And then they said like something that happened in the previous episode. And I was like, I'm definitely not supposed to be watching this episode. But like, I've been talking about it at work, and I think enough time has passed that I forgot what it was. Because when somebody said, "What did you get spoiled?" I couldn't remember what it was.
Huh.
I know it has something to do with Sasuke's older brother, but I don't remember what it was spoiled. Other than, well, I'm not going to say what. I know that something major happens to Sasuke's older brother, but I mean, that's not going to really bother me too much because I kind of already figured that would happen at some point. But yeah, I kind of been wanting to rewatch Shippuden.
I just
Um,
I can't stand his voice actor, Japanese or dubbed. Just can't get past it.
Which one? Naruto?
Naruto.
Yeah, or Naruto, or however you say his name.
Yeah, I think it's Naruto. I don't know. I've always only ever heard Naruto.
I
Um,
only heard Naruto either, but you know that there's going to be some weeb out there that gets mad that we're saying it incorrectly.
I don't care. I really don't. Um, yeah, I don't
It's
know. I just
pronounced
can't.
manga.
Wish Christian was here to tell that one. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just couldn't get into it. It's kind of like One Piece. I could just never watch it. Like it's just too much.
I tried getting One Piece. I watched like 20 episodes, and I realized that I still had like 930 to go. And I was like, I don't think I'm doing this. I'm only 20 episodes in, and I still have 900 to go. Pass. Anyway, uh, moving on a little bit further from there. I still kind of want to. We're still going to do it. Christian won't be here, so I guess we won't have to keep tally of it. But I still want to do this. We're going to talk about some kind of moment. So this is where we talk about our favorite moments in TV, movie, anime, video game kind of thing. Usually we try to keep like a tally of what's going on. But since Christian's not here to add to the tally list, well, let's just talk about some of the stuff that we like in really no particular order. Cody, do you have anything you want to talk about?
In terms of moments,
Yeah, like a
no.
fight or like a big scene or something like that.
I thought we weren't doing it, so I didn't plan.
You think anything on the top of your head? I got one if you want to think about
Now,
it for a second.
yeah, you go for it, because now it's just blanks.
I because I was originally going to do some kind of playlist for this where we picked our favorite songs from a movie, and I was like, okay, which one do I want? And the song that I was going to pick from the movie I'm about to disclose here, it's all leading up to something. I have a method to my madness.
Hmm.
Uh, I realized that it wasn't necessarily the song that I liked, although the song's a big part of the moment. It's the moment itself, and that is in The Kingsman when
I was literally
Galahad
you got
Galahad kills everyone in the racist church.
yeah. It was
Did I really
great.
take it from you?
Yeah, you did. That was I literally just watched that like 2 days ago.
Did you really? It's a great
It's
movie.
such a good movie. The second one's not as good, but it's still
No.
enjoyable. But oh man, it's such a good scene. It's so
Yeah.
brutal. It's so messed up.
Yeah, and they're playing Freebird in the background. That's the
Yeah.
because like all the crazy action is happening during that incredibly awesome solo that happens at the end of the song. Like you can hear it like starting in the background, and then obviously there's like he doesn't murder them for no reason. Well, he kind of does, but he gets like taken over by like this storyline plot that I can't remember.
He gets like um I don't know. It's like essentially brainwashed.
Yeah, essentially, like everyone in there becomes brainwashed. Oh, they become like enraged. Like they all become enraged.
Yeah.
So like, at the same time, and Freebird's not actually not the song that actually does it. It's just playing in the background during the video. But anyway, he's there for some reason. I can't remember why he's there. Do you remember why? You just watched it.
Uh I think it was to look for Samuel Jackson's character. Like he
Okay.
was like
Well, I don't know why he
investigating
would.
it, but like
I don't know why he would be there because this is clearly a hate church where like they're just preaching about how like they just hate everything.
yeah,
Um,
I can't remember exactly. It's one of those scenes like I don't think I've ever legitimately remembered why he was there because the scene's so ridiculous.
hmm
Like
But
if even like when we first watched it, I feel like if somebody was like, "Why do you go to church?" I'd be like, I don't know.
yeah.
He killed all them people. I don't know why he went there."
Well, the whole point is that like everyone in the church becomes brainwashed because Samuel L. Jackson's character is the main villain. Wants to eliminate Galahad, played by Colin Firth. He wants to eliminate him, so he figures like he will just get overrun by all these crazy, insane, hateful people at this hate church somewhere in like Alabama somewhere. and instead he kind of murders them all. And it's very brutal. The movie's rated R. It's not brutal in the sense of like very graphic and gory, but like he's clearly murdering everybody.
It's pretty gory. I mean, it's not like Saw gory, but
No,
it's pretty bloody.
yeah, like he
People get impaled.
people get impaled. There's a lady that gets like her head cut off with an axe.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm pretty sure he stabs somebody through the eye with the butt of his gun, which is crazy,
It's
or the chamber of his gun.
Yeah, with the chamber of his gun, and then he shoots people using the dude
Yeah,
as cover. Ooh, yeah, it's a lot.
yeah, but and the whole entire time Freebird is playing in the background. So it's really like if you haven't seen the movie and you're cool with like some sort of brutality, like it's not torturous brutality, but it's just like it's somebody murdering people. If you're cool seeing it, it's really a scene that like can only truly be appreciated if you watch it. Like me describing it is not depicting this correctly.
Yeah, no, not even a little bit. It's definitely something you need to watch to get.
Yeah. So, were you able to come up with anything, or did I really steal your thunder there?
No, I got one, and I feel
Okay.
like both fans of Star Trek and even people that are just fans of the movies might get mad at me because I know a lot of
Okay.
people thought that the third one, Star Trek Beyond, was kind of lame.
I liked all of them.
I liked all of them, and I hate Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't like
Okay,
Star Trek either.
I,
So
I
come at me,
like
Trekkies, for
yeah,
that. But
come
I
at
don't.
let's go. I just could not for the life of me enjoy those shows. They were too boring. Anyway, that's a whole nother rant.
I did kind of like the Next Generation, but it is another rant.
I think I'm gonna go with it's so cheesy. It was so dumb and cheesy. It's like the end of the movie when they blow up the hive swarm like of enemy ships with Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Just like I don't know, it's just so well timed and edited like so perfectly. It just I don't know. It just I enjoy it so much.
Is
It's
that the
so
one where is that the movie where he's like on the dirt bike?
yes,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
is. Yeah, and he's
Okay.
like got like I don't know holograms or whatever of himself riding around everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But then they're like
I don't
they're
remember the
flying.
one all that much. That's not the one with Khan, right?
No, it's the one after that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, just like they're flying the old Federation ship, and then they hook the boombox up to the speakers, which like they're in space. There's no sound, but whatever. It worked. It was
No.
crazy. It was. I cracked up. I loved it. They just basically ride a giant like hive wave and just blow it up with music. And I don't know why that hit me so hard, but it was so good.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I kind of have another one. It's a movie. Like I said, normally we have parameters to go through, but Christian's not here, so we're gonna do whatever we want. Um, I don't know which one it was. You'll probably correct me as soon as I start talking about it. But whichever Fast and the Furious movie where they have the two cars and they're carrying the vault behind them.
That's Fast Five.
Yeah, and like it's just destroying everything, and it's just
Yeah.
these two souped up cars that clearly could not, in any way, shape, or form, actually support dragging of a bank safe vault behind them,
Yeah.
and it's just going through this downtown city town.
Look, nothing about that movie made sense. The Rock is literally like he just got out of a swimming pool level of sweat the whole movie, and half the time it's like nothing's happening. He's just standing there.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where like Brian and Mia and Dom are running from the cartel and the Rock's team at the same time, and they're like running across rooftops and doing all this crazy parkour stuff, and then like Dom runs into the female cop or whatever, and he's like just bone dry. And then The Rock did like 4 moves, punched one dude, and he's just like blowing sweat off his face. Like it's just like why?
I remember Matt and I watched that movie and we're like, it was good, but why was The Rock so sweaty? The whole movie. The whole movie. He's so... Go back and watch Fast Five. He is so sweaty the whole movie.
They're just inside chilling. He's in that massive Humvee, has air conditioning. Nothing.
Sweating.
Just
They
sweating.
probably could go... That's not the one where they're like doing the ice thing, right? That's not that one.
No, that's
But he's probably sweating out there too. Probably sweating out there for all I know. I don't really remember. I mean, The Rock's character in that movie is just ridiculous anyway. He breaks his arm back through a cast. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's Fast 7, but still. Pretty sure it's Fast 7.
Yeah, it's 7. The daddy's got to go to work and then just cracks his arm back into place, breaks the cast, and downs like 3 Vicodin, and I guess goes murders people. Like, it just...
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from favorite moments, I just kind of wanted to talk about it. I know Christian's not here, but, you know. Why don't you talk a little bit about Returnal, man?
Yeah, so I just picked that up. It came out Friday. It's, for anyone not familiar with the term, it's a roguelite, which traditionally is like a 2D side-scroller type of game, where you progress as far as you can, and then you die, and then you essentially have to start over. And, you know, bits and pieces of things will be different, whether it be enemies or the locations or whatever. But they're usually like indie titles, like Hades and what am I thinking? Dead Cells. But this is like...
Or Hades. Did you say Hades?
Yeah, Hades.
Yeah. Or Dead Cells, yeah. It's like those.
Yeah. I think The Binding of Isaac was also one of the first.
Yeah, because I had someone at work that was talking about The Binding of Isaac.
I've never played any of them. This is
Dead Cells was good, and I really liked Hades, but I never finished either one.
I saw a Christian playing Dead Cells. I mean, he was literally playing it at his wedding, so that was kind of amusing.
As we were all getting dressed, he was playing Dead Cells in the room.
We're all putting tuxes on, and Christian's like got his shirt and his boxers and just playing Dead Cells. It was pretty humorous.
He was not even completely dressed yet.
No, we were like, bro, you are getting married in like 3 hours. Like, we got to take pictures and crap. Like, what are you doing? It's like, I gotta get through this level. Anyway, this is my first roguelite game, but I feel like it's not solely a roguelite, because it is like, I mean, it's a AAA. I forget the studio. It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive AAA game. It's essentially like a hybrid of any roguelite game with like Metroid Prime and like a Souls game. I say Souls only because like the enemies are pretty rough at times.
Yeah, I think you sent me a picture at the beginning. It literally says like Returnal is meant to be Returnal is meant to be challenging. Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, it literally says when you start the game, there's like a message that says, the enemies are, you know, supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to be difficult. And then it also says that, you know, upon death, you return to your ship or whatever. And that there is no, like, checkpoint. If you die, you start over. And so they recommend putting your console in safe mode. Like, it's in that message to put your console in safe mode. Well, or rest mode, rather, not safe mode.
I know what you meant.
which is fine, right? That's fine and dandy, but like, say I'm playing Returnal and I'm like 3 hours in, I'm in like, the second or third biome of the game, and like it doesn't checkpoint, so like I'm just playing, and then you guys are like, hey, let's play Warzone, or let's play Borderlands or whatever, right? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was actually thinking you were gonna go with like let's say you're 2 or 3 hours in and you're like on the whatever biome, I don't even know what that means, and like the power goes out.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Except if the power goes out, it doesn't register the death. So I would literally lose progress.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so the way the game plays is there's at least, I think there's three biomes. There's like a forest biome, a desert biome, and then I don't know what the third one is.
Okay.
Or if there's any more than that. I think it's just three.
Okay.
But as you go, you get upgrades, like you get artifacts, and they give you certain buffs, and like they might make your weapons um, more powerful, or they might heal you upon damaging something.
Yeah.
And then there's permanent upgrades, where like the first one you get adds alternate fire to your gun. So instead of just having the one way to shoot something, you now have an alternate shot for every gun you pick up. That's a permanent upgrade that sticks with you. Or the ability to like use a teleport pad when you unlock it in a specific room. That's a permanent upgrade. The melee weapon you get is a permanent upgrade. Other than that, other than those items, like specific things, you lose everything when you die. Your stats, like you have weapon proficiency. As you go, you're like building up your suit integrity, so your health, like making your health, more robust or whatever. Your weapon proficiency as you go, like as you level that up, like you'll start finding better and better weapons. All that resets when you die. The only things you keep, like I said, are those permanent things, and then like there's one bit of currency that you keep, which is called ether.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find. It's like if anything costs more than like 3 ether, it's really expensive. That's how hard it is to find. So it's not like Dark Souls in the way that when you die, you can like go find your body and collect your stuff. It doesn't work that way. Once you die, it just resets the game, essentially.
Yeah, and everything like it even resets like the how the rooms are laid out, right?
Yeah, so think of the game like a big puzzle, or like a modular dungeon map, and every time you die, the pieces get rearranged. So, you might start the game outside of when you start your second run, it's scripted for you to die the first time.
Okay.
The first area is always the same. I've watched a couple playthroughs just to be sure, and it's the same for everybody. And you come across a big enemy, and it's scripted to kill you.
Okay.
And then every time you die, it literally does the same or a variation of your character crashing onto the planet, and it literally essentially starts the game over. And then when you go through that first door, it's a different area than where you went the last time. There are only a finite amount of rooms in each biome, so as you go, you'll obviously start recognizing areas. So
Yeah,
you'll
so
know
like it's
like
not
where
exactly
doors are.
procedurally it's not exactly procedurally generated as like the rooms just shift.
Yeah, it's not like No Man's Sky where all the planets are different. It's just
Yeah.
the rooms are all the same. They're just in different places,
Gotcha.
which is a fun little quirk. Um, and the way the game's set out, so like when you make it through the first biome and you get to the boss, um, if you beat the boss, you don't have to fight that boss again. You can, like if you die in a subsequent run, if you wanted to go back and fight them, you can. You don't have to. You could just
See,
continue to the gate and go to the next area.
that's good to know because another roguelite that I played was Hades, and you have to fight the boss again.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's not like that. It is, however, and I believe the reason they did that because all the biomes are kind of lengthy, and it's definitely recommended that you fully explore each biome every time you die in order to get
Hmm.
the maximum amount of upgrades to your suit that you can.
Yeah.
Um, like for instance, I just made it all the way to the end of the second biome, and the boss killed me. So now I'm going to redo the first biome basically without fighting the boss. I'm going to open all the doors, find all the collectibles, all the artifacts, get as many upgrades as I can, move on to the second, and then do the same for the second again and get to the boss. So like it's meant to take, like it's probably supposed to take you anywhere from 5 to 7 hours to like from like returning to the start and then making it
Yeah.
all the way to the final boss is probably supposed to take you about 7 hours. I'm
Okay.
sure if you're really good, you can probably cut that down. I'm sure there'll be speed runs of this game, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of like heavy influences like Metroid. Like it seems to be heavily influenced by Metroid, and it looks like a horror game, and it's not a horror game. Like there's some suspenseful stuff to it, but like it's just a mood, like a dark mood to the game, but it isn't a horror game.
Mm.
So I'm really enjoying it because I hate scary stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was on the fence because I was like, this is definitely, it definitely, to me, felt like it was marketed as a spoopy game.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. But like with Resident Evil coming out, obviously we want to record that for you guys. So
Hmm.
you know I'm only going to be playing that when we can record. So that's gonna be a slower process. So I needed something to play in the meantime, and this is legitimately perfect because like you know I think even the devs said like um, expect like 2 hour sessions while you're getting started,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna end up dying and going back until you get like into the swing of it and really understand. And like it doesn't matter what layout it is, like which room you're in, how to get to the doors and what to do there. um,
That's kind of cool though. So you showed me through share screen for the PS5 what the game kind of looked like and how it was played, and it looks like it's really fun. I'm not the biggest fan of roguelites just because the whole concept is an innately kind of frustrating thing to me.
that's why I never played them.
Uh, but this does look pretty fun. Now, you were saying that there isn't really much of a story?
Yeah, also I realized as you were saying, I started a thought and then got on a tangent. um,
Oh, okay.
I was saying that that the devs were going to work on the fact that you can't save the game. Apparently, they responded to a lot of people's Twitters as like, "We hear the community, and we're working on stuff." So I think they're gonna try and implement something where like you can save right and turn the game off and come back and keep going, and then but like if you die, that save gets deleted or something like that,
Okay.
which would be super nice.
Yeah, that way you're not just stuck playing it until
Yeah,
you
so that
die.
way, I could like stop playing it and play 14 or Warzone or whatever,
Yeah.
or watch a movie for, anything.
do any other thing on your PlayStation that requires you to close the game.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's before that rant. That's where I was trying to go with that. What was your question?
I was just saying, so you said there's really not much of a story to this.
Yeah, like there is a story in it, and I feel like it's unfolding as I go, but like it's not a deep story. Like the game literally just starts with you flying in space, and your character looks over, and there's a signal. And it's called like White Shadow or something like that, and it just you're just left to assume that she's investigating that signal, and she goes into the atmosphere, and then like the ship gets struck with lightning or something, and then you crash, and then you're playing the game. Um, and as you're going, like you run into corpses wearing the same, gear you are, and then like you turn the helmet over and it's got your name on it. Um, and there's usually like an audio log laying next to the body, and you pick it up and it's your voice, implying that like you've been doing this before you were doing it. Like it's really trippy. Um, and so the whole game is just you trying to get to this white shadow signal and figure out
What that
why
is?
what that is and why you keep dying and going back to the ship. All while being like seemingly followed by an old timey to the game, but like current day astronaut, like NASA astronaut. Like you'll look out of a window or something, and the astronaut's just standing there, and then you like turn around and it's gone. Um, and like
Interesting.
in the first biome, you run into your character's house, which is really trippy.
Hmm.
And you go in and look around, and it's really suspenseful, and it had me on edge because I was like, here's the horror stuff. It really wasn't that bad. Yeah, there's really not this like deep story. It's just a fun game, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like it's not like with Destiny or something where like you had to like guess and like look at like the the grimoire cards or whatever to actually understand what the story was. This is just like they knew what they were making. They were like, it's a roguelite. You're going to die, you're going to return, and you're going to do it again. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, like, they didn't pretend that it had some crazy story. And there isn't one that, but like, I feel like it's just slowly getting fleshed out as I go. And it's neat. Like, it's more interesting to me finding the corpses of your character and listening to the audio logs of like what they went through
Yeah.
and your character reacting to it. Like that's kind of neat to me.
And she doesn't know that she recorded those.
Yeah, like when you pick them up, she always like says something along the lines of like I don't know, like what happened to her, and then she'll be like, that's not me, I didn't record that, or something. Like it's always just like a little like I don't understand what's happening,
Okay.
but it's really good.
Interesting.
I definitely recommend it.
I'll have to check that out because I'm not the biggest fan of roguelites, like I just said, but it's definitely not bad. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I've never played a roguelite because it just doesn't seem like my cup of tea. Like the Souls games were pushing it for that reason.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could go back and collect your stuff is why I liked them so much. Like at least it gave you a chance, and there were saves.
True. True. All right. Well, yeah. I guess do you want to talk about 14 for a little bit to kind of wrap up this podcast, I guess?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are have no idea what 14 is. You know?
Oh, really? Oh, well, if you don't know what Final Fantasy XIV is, it is an MMORPG, which stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game.
It's a mouthful.
Uh, yeah, so that's why it's a Moperger.
Yeah.
Uh, it is the sequel. It's a spiritual sequel to Final Fantasy XI, which was Final Fantasy's first trial into the world of MMORPGs. The most famous MMORPG would obviously be World of Warcraft. This would be. I still
Well,
consider. Well, I mean, personally,
okay.
I would still consider WoW to be the number one because it's what everyone automatically assumes when you're talking about MMORPGs is WoW. However, if you start looking at the fan base, 14's kind of making a run for its money.
Well, I was gonna say, sure, I know what you mean in terms of like, I would say WoW is more famous in the sense that
Yeah,
like people that don't play video games know what WoW is.
yeah,
You know, like I mean, there was a movie for World of Warcraft, and there's all kinds of Funko Pop and stuff.
that
Like,
was boring.
yeah, well, it was. You could feel time moving in that movie.
I fell asleep in that movie.
It was rough. But like you're saying, in the last couple years, Final Fantasy has not only passed WoW in terms of subscriber count, but popularity as well. I mean, it has essentially dwarfed WoW at this point.
Yeah, well, when I was really big into 14, which was, when we say 14, we're talking about Final Fantasy 14. When I really was into 14 was when Heaven's Ward, which was the second expansion of Final Fantasy 14, was out. It was still not as popular as WoW. Like, it was growing for sure,
No,
but it was not as popular as WoW. With
it
the most
was.
recent expansion, Shadowbringers, that's when I really think it kicked off into high gear for 14.
It started with Stormblood. Um, it was
Yeah, I
right
guess I
at.
didn't really like Stormblood, but that's me.
Well, no, but that's because you played A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I did as well. I just came in. I came in right before Heaven's Ward. I mean, I had played like the alpha when it came to PlayStation, um, but like before it was A Realm Reborn when it was 14.
yeah.
But it wasn't for me at the time. And then you and Kyle got me into it right at the end of A Realm Reborn.
Yeah. Well, the one
Uh,
thing that's great about Final Fantasy 14 is that obviously it's an MMO, and for someone like me, I didn't really have a computer growing up, so I never really got used to mouse and keyboard, which apparently is the
yeah.
ultimate controller. I get that, but it's just my brain can't operate between typing keys with one hand and using a mouse with the other. It's like trying to rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time for me. I can't do it right. But I was
Depends on
always
the
good with the
game.
controller. Well, yeah, I was always good with the controller, and Final Fantasy 14 is built so you can play it with the controller, which WoW is not.
Yeah, that's true. I think it might be the only MMO that is. I mean, no,
It is.
Black Desert is
Oh, okay. Well,
because
I never played Black
you
Desert.
can play Black Desert on the console. Um, I don't think SWOTOR is. Uh, but anyway,
Which is Star Wars of the Old Republic.
yeah, sorry. Um, anyway, yeah, when I got into it, Heaven's Ward, it wasn't that big, but I think when it jumped in popularity was Stormblood because it brought in the weebs. Now, there were already plenty of weebs in Final Fantasy XIV. It is
Yeah.
definitely the weebiest MMO ever. However, at the time, like, it didn't have like huge marketing. Like, the game had a rocky beginning. Like, for those who don't know
Yeah,
the story, Final Fantasy XIV came out, and like, for
it
all
was a
intents
train
and
wreck.
yeah, for all intents and purposes, though, like, the game plays the way it does now. Like, I mean, like, the overall like mechanics of the game didn't really change a whole lot. It was just like the story was garbage.
And you could literally die and your character would be permadead.
Yeah, they had permadeath, and it was a bit of a debacle.
Like, put this way, before it was fixed, um, I read an article on ranking all the Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy XIV came in dead last. It was the bottom
Yeah.
of the list. And when they showed a picture of it, they didn't even show a picture of any gameplay or anything or any screenshot from the game. They just showed a picture of a train wreck.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so it
It,
was really bad, and then the devs did something that to this day no dev has done, which is they announced that they were taking their game offline
hmm
until further
and
notice. And
they
they literally
essentially blew everything up.
I was gonna say they literally blew everything up because while you were playing, a massive comet appeared in the sky, and every day up to the point where they were shutting the servers down, it just got closer and closer until it made contact and blew up, and the servers went down.
hmm
And people were both happy and sad because I mean it had some fans.
Yeah.
Um, but like they literally essentially rebuilt from the
Rebuilt the
ground
game
up,
almost.
and that's why it's called A
Yeah.
Realm Reborn. Um, and so, like, the opening cutscene is essentially that. It's essentially the old world getting wiped out by Bahamut coming down in a comet.
Yeah. So it turns out the meteor was this big dragon Bahamut that essentially just wipes out the world. And it's called the Calamity. And they were smart enough that, like, it's part of the lore of the game now. So, like, everything that happened before Realm Reborn still happened,
Yeah,
but you just can't access it anymore. And everything from Realm Reborn forward is what happens after they brought it all back online.
yeah, and it was immediately loved by all those fans. But it
Yeah.
definitely had a slow build, and then when Stormblood came out, they introduced Samurai, and that's what the trailer focused on was Samurai. They brought Samurai and Bunny Girls, and
Well, Bunny Girls was Shadowbringers.
oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry. What else did they bring? It was no. Was it Dark Knight?
No, Dark Knight was Heaven's Ward. Dark Knight
Heaven's
was
Ward.
what Heaven's Ward was featured
That's
on.
right. Um,
No, I lied. Sorry. Dark Knight was Heaven's Ward was Dragoons. Stormblood was Samurai, and then was the Dark Knight focused one.
yeah. Anyway, the trailer focused heavily on Samurai, and that grabbed a ton of people because it looked awesome, and it is awesome. Tim's sitting there right now as a samurai.
It is very fun. If you like dealing damage, this is the class for you.
Yeah. And then it started gaining traction slowly, and it was around that time when a lot of WoW players were getting like to their last, like the end of their rope with the devs for WoW.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of changes, I think, for a while.
Yeah, they kept changing stuff, and it wasn't what people wanted. It was like the opposite. And like every time people asked for stuff, they were like, "I don't care," basically. I'm pretty sure there were a couple like community representatives that got fired for doing and saying things like, "I don't care, deal with it." And like it just seemed like the devs didn't care at all. And then like they did like WoW Classic, which
Yeah.
it had a big spike in popularity. People loved that they brought WoW Classic, but then like anything that you've played the holy hell out of, you lose interest quick. And that's what happened.
hmm
People played it and they were like, "This is great," and I don't want to do this anymore. You know, we want something
Yeah.
new that isn't
They
a
got that
bunch
nostalgia
of
pop, and
yeah,
then that was it.
which is why I didn't get Pokemon Snap. Another rant. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, like people lost interest quick, and people wanted something new that wasn't, a bunch of pandas. And unfortunately, that's what they got. They got Pandorium or whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah.
And so WoW players were getting fed up. And luckily, their weeb friends were like, hey, try this. And then slowly but surely, WoW players started defecting from WoW to Final Fantasy. And then when Shadowbringers came out, everyone came to Final Fantasy.
Shadowbringers was an awesome expansion, though.
Yeah, like, it's my favorite for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Close second is Heaven's Ward.
Yeah, not to, like, get into that. But one of the things that I mainly like about Final Fantasy XIV compared to WoW is that in WoW, you create a character, and you pick whatever class you want to be, and then that's all you can really play.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy XIV, you create a character, and instead of classes, you sort of have, like, jobs almost,
jobs.
where it's like you can switch. And, like, for instance, I'm a samurai right now, but I also have a healer, I have a tanking class, I have other DPSs that I'm looking to level up. So, like, I never run out of things to do, and if I ever get bored with a certain playstyle, I can switch my class, and then it's almost like a different game.
Yeah. They all play differently. They all have their own quirks.
There's similarities, obviously. Like, the tanking classes all have, like, aggro grabs and things of that nature.
They all essentially do what the others do. Like a DPS class, they do damage. But, like, if you're playing, like, a ninja, you have to be in certain spots when you're fighting a boss for certain moves. Called positionals. So you have to, like, either be in the flank, or you need to be on his side, or
or
behind, front, whatever. It's you have to pay attention to what you're doing, and there's a specific rotation to each class to deal the most damage, or grab the most hate, or heal effectively. But yeah, with WoW, you had to make alternate characters. Like, whole other characters.
And then level the character up completely.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, your level in Final Fantasy is determined by the class that you're playing. So, for instance, all my healers are level 80. I have a Duchess of them cap right now. All my healers are level 80. My Dark Knight is level 80. And I have a Red Mage level 80. But I'm playing my Samurai that's only level 67.
Right. Like, I've got my 2 level 80 tanks that I go back and forth with, and I've got my level 80 samurai, and that's about it, because I like what I do. I have play styles that I enjoy, and I stick with them. I've got a couple that I'm leveling up, casually, because that's what you can do in this game.
That's the other thing. Like, not only is, like, their end game content, not only is there, like just stuff that you can earn money, like, not like real money, but you can probably earn real money, but you know what I mean, like, you can
in-game money,
essentially start your own economic business where you can, like, for instance, I have a miner where I just go out and I mine things and I sell them for profit. Like, you can play this game and for hours and not even fight anything if you want to.
You can legitimately do the bare minimum just to get through, like, story, and essentially never do in-game content and just do crafting. Like, if you just want to be an armorer, or a leather worker, or a jeweler, or a miner, or a baker, or whatever, like, you can just literally just do those things. You can just garden and make money.
So, for instance, like, you can really play the game however you want. So, for instance, like me, I like leveling up classes because I like dungeon crawling. So I have a lot of classes, as you just heard, that are at level 80 because I just enjoy going into dungeons and fighting things and, doing the fights, and then, I level up and progress. Whereas Cody, you don't have as many because you're more like an end game content kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, I have my 2 tanks. I started as a paladin, and then when Dark Knight came out, I was hooked. But I've kept my paladin to level because there's times where it just makes more sense to be a paladin. But and when it was coming to DPS, like, I mean, I leveled a Machinist, which is a gun wielder.
A gunner. Yeah.
To like 60, and that was fun. I've got a bard, which is like an archer. I've got one at 70. That was fun, but like, yeah, I tend to like do the end game stuff. Like I want to get all the mounts. Like I'll farm all the fights to get the mounts that they drop, or like the.
You're the one that's doing the raids at reset.
Yeah, yeah. I try to get all the raid when they reset, and I can get new gear. Like I'm in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do the rest of it casually, whereas Tim, you're more.
I'm out there. I'm grinding the dailies.
Yeah.
And doing the dungeon crawling aspect because that's what I enjoy. I like it. Even though like so you can do roulettes where like essentially you just get a random dungeon, which I think is really cool. But eventually you get to the point where you're like me, where like you've kind of done them all so much that even the ones that I don't remember, I still know how to do.
Yeah.
Or will come back to me. But I play as a healer mainly because nobody in my circle of friends wants to heal, and one of us has to.
I'm starting. Well, okay, I'm finishing a healer.
Yeah, and one of us has to be a healer. So, well, at least back in the day when it was me, you, Christian, and Steven, one of us had to heal.
Yeah.
So I was just the default.
I was the default tank.
That is true. You do tank more than all of us. So, but anyway, I like to do the dungeon stuff. And the best part about healing is that I don't really have to pay attention to a lot of the mechanics. So when I play another class, I really don't know what I'm doing anymore. But yeah.
Yeah. With Shadowbringers, like I made it through the story with my Dark Knight, which was really cool. But then, like, I took about a year off the game, and we both just recently came back to it. You've been back and forth more than I have.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm ever gonna really be done with this game unless they shut down the servers one day.
But I've been playing my samurai so much that when it comes time for me to like do new dungeons and stuff, I'm almost like I don't feel like tanking and learning this. I'm just gonna hit things with my sword.
Well, the good news is that it looks like only you and I will be progressing with Endwalker, which is the next expansion.
Yeah.
So you could play as your samurai, and we can still run stuff because healer queues are pretty quick.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean I'll still tank. I still enjoy tanking, but it's just been a nice change of pace because like I was saying, like for at least 3 years, all I did was tank. Because that our group needed a tank, and Steven and Christian were going to tank, and I didn't have a healer, so I was the tank.
Yeah, that's essentially what it was. That like I was healing because the thing about it is if you're DPS, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of DPS classes, and a lot of people like DPSing because that's the main point of the game. You do damage. You kill monsters.
You kill the thing.
Yeah, that's mainly what people want to do. Nobody really wants the responsibility of like, because if you're the tank, you're the leader, so you need to like lead the group. So it's a lot of responsibility. If you're the healer, everyone's life is in your hands, so it's also a lot of responsibility. And a lot of people don't like that. But for me, I mean, my whole life takes up like a 1-inch square of the screen where like it's like as long as everyone's alive, everyone leaves me alone.
Yeah.
So, and much like with tanking, as long as you're taking all the hits, everyone leaves you alone.
Yeah, which is I don't know. I love tanking. It's fun, especially when like you're doing like a big raid and there's multiple tanks. And
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like Dark Knight's fun.
If you're geared higher than the other tank and they keep trying to like pull aggro, and then you're just like, nah, it's mine. I don't know. It's just the little things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Or like if a DPS gets on your nerves, that's why they gave us Shirk, so I can just give them all the hate, and they'll be like, whoa, what's happening? What's happening? Don't tell me how to play my class.
Yeah, don't be those people that tell you how to play someone else's class. If you want to tell a tank how to tank, you should have queued as a tank.
Yeah, just If anyone listening is thinking about playing 14, just
play your class.
Play your class.
Play your class.
Play your class. Don't be a jerk. You know, it's like any community. There is always a toxic underbelly, but like I will say that people in 14 are much nicer than any other game community I've ever experienced.
I will say that. I mean, obviously, you know, ask for help if you need it, and people give you advice. But play your class.
Just know that like you'll always run into that one guy that's just like, did you watch a video? Like, how do you not know this fight? It came out 3 hours ago.
You're going to have people that's like, looking for party, must be max gear, must know the fight.
Yeah. The ones that crack me up is like, so like recently they just released the last part of the Alliance raid in 14, which is a 24-man raid. It's built of 3 alliances, each with 8 people. And the Shadowbringers Alliance raid is based on Nier Automata, or Automata, however you want to say it.
How you want to say it.
And day 1, I log in to do that raid, and I get in there. It's like midday. Obviously, people have been playing it for a little bit at this point.
They probably play it since it dropped or whatever.
Yeah, and so I get in there, and you know, there's like 80% of the people in there are new. And there's like 4 guys that are like, how do you not know this fight? It came out like 4 hours ago, guys. Like, you should have watched the video. There's always going to be that guy. Don't let it get to you. Just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. You watch all those cutscenes. I don't even care.
Yeah, watch them all. Because I had to skip them all because people were like, they peer pressure you to like, just like, come on, let's go. Watch all the cutscenes.
There's in the main story, and in A Realm Reborn specifically, there are, well, I guess there's technically 3, but there's 2 really long main scenario dungeons that require 8 people, and one takes about 30 minutes, and the other takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And it used to be, till very recently, till Shadowbringers, it took 10 minutes to do them.
Yeah.
Because you would go in, and the way 14's built, like, it syncs your level to whatever you're doing, and your item levels, but, like, your gear is still your gear. Like, it still has... The stats are, like, stats. Way better than they should be for content that you're running. So like we were able, and you still are, like any fight in those dungeons, it's like it's over in like 3 seconds. But like, it used to be so bad that you would get into these things, you would skip the cutscenes, and then if I was tanking, most people tanking would just run through, grab literally everything, pull it straight to the boss, kill it. The party would kill it all in 3 seconds, and then you do the same thing for the next boss. And
if you were new, you essentially were just watching like 20 minutes of cutscenes because you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I get it. I felt bad for some of those people because, like, I mean, it sucks. Like, people would give them crap for it, but like, you'd start up a dungeon, and then there's, you know, cutscenes, and then they come out of the cutscene, and literally everyone's gone because the dungeon is over. Happened to me
the first time I did it. Yep.
Like it, because
you think you're just watching a really big cutscene, and then you realize that it's all over.
Yeah, legitimately, every fight's been won because everyone was overgeared, and they just farted on the whole thing, and you watched one cutscene came out, and you're the only one left, or maybe you plus one other guy, because you watched the cutscenes. And look, I get it. People got upset because not only did you only watch one cutscene, but they didn't get to see any of the other cutscenes either. Like, it was just over. And you're right, it was just part of the process. Like, it was normal for me. Like, I remember doing it and being like, oh. And then you guys were like, yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll be on the other end next time, where like you're the one that's blowing through it while
Yeah.
the people are just standing there.
So it was just this sort of like, it comes around. You get to be the guys that just breeze through it, and yeah, and it was just like, all right, fine. And if you really wanted to watch the cutscenes again, there's
You
always
can do it
like,
from the beginning at the entrance. Yeah.
yeah, there's always a book for you to watch, to go through and watch any cutscenes you want to watch. But
Hmm.
like, enough people complained, and so they made those cutscenes unskippable. So now those 10-minute dungeons take an hour, and it is excruciating.
But they give you a boatload of
Oh yeah,
EXP.
boatload of EXP. It's quite fantastic to level your characters up and easy to do it. It's just
It takes an hour.
it takes so long.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's 14 in a nutshell. We might do some stuff on the Twitch for it. At least I want to. I think it would be cool to
Yeah, no,
do.
we'll definitely stream some stuff. Make some videos on YouTube. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe raids.
Raids would be cool. Or we can just kind of create new characters and sort of kind of play through the story campaign, maybe. I don't know. It'd be a lot.
I don't know if I want to do that. I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
We can.
look. For anyone listening, I love this game. I really do. I'm not playing through the beginning of this game again.
That's true. A Realm
It,
Reborn is rough.
it's
And it's
rough.
long.
Yeah, it's a crawl.
Yeah.
But like I highly suggest you play the game. But like,
The expansions are a little bit more streamlined. They kind of cut
yeah,
out a lot of the content.
like
With
don't.
for good.
Yeah,
Like not for the betterment.
yeah. It's not like they cut stuff out of the game. They just like they streamlined it.
Yeah.
There's still some lengthy like back and forth fetch quests, but like
That's every video game
that's
though.
every video game. But like it's Realm Reborn. The first part of the game. It's it's a bit of a grind.
We can run some raids or something. We can figure something out to do.
Yeah, so we might do some skits, some funny how to play this class or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd
no,
be
we'll,
cool.
we'll do some stuff. We'll do some stuff. If you guys
Yeah.
are into 14, maybe comment. Let us know what you want to see.
All right. Well, to end this podcast, I'm gonna end it with a random thought. And I know we've been doing food random thoughts recently, so I'm gonna end up on this one. What's the weirdest kind of combination of food you've ever had, man?
Uh, the
Or the
weirdest.
like the thing you like Frankenstein together and it ended up being really good.
Oh gosh. I don't know. You go first. I gotta think.
Well, I'm saying this because today at work, one of my people was like, "I really want to get a corn dog and wrap it in a quesadilla." And like hear me out. They want the corn dog on the stick, right? And then they just want to fold a quesadilla around the corn dog and then eat it. And I was like, you know what? I don't hate that. I think that would be good. I don't hate that.
There's the episode description. Y'all ever just wrap a corn dog with a quesadilla?
It's a quesadilla around a corn dog. You can't. It'd be interesting if you wrapped a corn dog around a
Oh,
quesadilla,
you
though.
know what I
That'd be
meant.
a big corn dog.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's actually sort of a common thing. I feel like the weirdest thing I've ever done is maybe like jalapenos on popcorn.
That's weird.
But I feel like
I don't know.
when we
I
worked at the
never
movie
understood
house,
that.
like everyone did it. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah, but I always thought that was weird, though. But I was also the kind of person that, like, for a while there, I was really big on dipping popcorn into the cheese sauce that we had.
Yeah, see, that's weirder to me than the jalapenos.
But I think a jalapeno, like, I don't know. Um, oh, someone's talking to me on 14.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Tim's having conversations, and on my screen, we're just chatting at a table. That's the beauty of
Yeah.
this game.
Oh, Then they said MT. Never mind. All right. Well, on that note, thanks for listening. This was a really random and weird podcast. I know that, but thanks for hanging in there. Next week, I won't be here because I'm going to be on vacation. My grandmother turned 75 in December, and we were supposed to see see her. We were supposed to see her, and obviously that didn't happen. Thanks, COVID. But everyone's now kind of, all vaccinated up, so we're going to head on up. So I will be out of state. So Cody and Christian are going to do something. I don't know what they're going to do, but they'll do something.
I don't know. We might do another weird in-game podcast like this. I just don't know what game we'll do.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys can play Warzone and talk to each other. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Might be a bit distracting.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Please make sure you check out our website at some kind of entertainment or skoentertainers.com. That's what it is. Or no,
that's not what it is.
Please check out our website skoentertainers.net.
That's not it either.
Is it not?
No, it's skoentertainment.net.
Oh, jeez. I don't have it in front of me because I'm not on my computer doing this.
Yeah. It's okay.
I remember the intro like it was no problem because that's pretty easy. But check out our website, skoentertainment.net. Check out our Twitch. We play games there. Not as much as we like, but we do sometimes. Cody's going to do something for Resident Evil 8, which I think comes out next weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going to entail. It's probably just going to be you with me while I play, or all three, or something like that.
Yeah. Eventually I'll get around to finishing Resident Evil 4. I do want to finish it, even though I hate it.
Life gets in the way, guys.
Yeah, especially since you're starting to work again. They seem a little interesting for a while, but Christian's going to be done with school, so we'll figure it out. So check out our Twitch. Check out our website, skoentertainment.net. Subscribe, like, share, subscribe this. This has been weird, but, we like more than 11 followers. So, for those on Facebook that, haven't liked this yet, why don't you just go ahead and do that? I know the final line. Please join us next week because even on the best of days, we all need some kind of entertainment. See ya.
Bye, guys.